Waikanae's famous macrocarpa hedge has been cut back another metre by council arborists. The hedge, which was planted in the 1930s, had a corridor cut along the length of its base last Wednesday. It was then cut back another metre on Friday. The Kapiti Mayor K Gurunathan says the council first asked owner Vince Osborne to cut the hedge back in 2004. But the council was forced to act after an elderly neighbour complained they couldn't see around the hedge to drive safely onto the road. The mayor says while he personally thinks the hedge is magnificent, it sits on council land above the sewerage and water mains, and if they ruptured, the hedge could be cut back even further.
I drove past it on Thursday before the arborist went down. That was just the first cut. So on Friday, the arborist had gone in to tidy it up. So what you'll see is a whole lot of brown where it's been cut. You'll see the brown sticks, and that's the 1.5 meters that was cut into it. And the thing about macrocarpas is when you cut it beyond a particular stage, it doesn't grow back.
So is that what it's going to look like forever now?
Well, I mean, it's up, the Osbornes were told in 2004 to trim it back for safety reasons. Had they listened to that, and you can incrementally manage that, and macrocarpas can grow back, so it'll be green, long term, you can still keep it green. So that is individual responsibility. They didn't exercise that back in 2004. So the present situation is what we've got now.
What are your safety concerns there? I mean, have there been any accidents?
No. There have been claims of accidents and stuff like that, but what people haven't talked to, or the person they should really have talked to, are the neighbors at number 82 Timona Road. Elderly couple, completely blind-spotted by this, the ability to get out. One of them will have to come out on the road and wave the car or the driver out. They have told me how they've had near escapes from a cyclist and pedestrians. Nobody has talked to them.
Could there have been a better way of doing this, though? I mean, Mr. Osborne says he was actually in Wellington that day when it happened and knew nothing about it.
If you're talking about could there have been a better way of doing it, the trees are all planted on council land. Okay, these are council trees, so to speak. And any accidents on this area, council is liable under the Health and Safety Act. We are liable for this. And they've been told since 2004 to trim it back by the then chief executive.
But
so
they've been there
what is known as the individual responsibility for this.
They've been there since 1930. I mean, why are they being cut back now? Why has it taken so long?
Well, that's the question you need to put to them. What has happened is because, from my understanding, is they have put up a fight every time that this is one council wanted to trim it back or asked them to trim it back. This is the delays that we've had. And now it has become important because this has become an arterial road connected to the newly opened expressway. So we are projecting 2,000 vehicles per day increase. So the statistical possibility of an accident happening is much higher.
Are you saying that the trees were planted on council land?
Yes. No, the trees are planted on council land. And underneath that berm there are two reticulations, the water supply reticulation and also the sewage reticulation down there. If anything happens to them, council will need to go in there and cut the whole lot of trees. And that possibility still is there.
The thing is, though, the hedge looks ugly. So is it going to be tidied up?
Look, the hedge is ugly even without being cut. Some of the people are saying the hedge is hideous, is ugly. So it's in the eyes of the beholder. If you ask me for my personal opinion, I would say it's a magnificent hedge. No question about that, from my opinion. The only reason why the trees may be cut down or much more severe surgical work needs to be done is if the water mains get ruptured or the sewerage mains get ruptured, then we have no choice.